Hi everyone, welcome to your 75-minute Vinyasa beginner's flow this morning. My name's Don and I'll be guiding you through the practice this morning. So I'd like you to grab whatever props you think you might need. If you have blocks, that would be good. Maybe some cushions, a strap if you have one, or a pajama cord, a dressing gown cord. And then just join me in a comfortable seated position on your mats. Let's put the backs of our palms onto our knees, palms facing upwards. Tips of the index finger touching the tip of the thumb. Close down the eyes. We'll just take 3 deep grounding breaths to arrive here on the mat. Leave the outside world behind. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. One more deep inhale. Sigh out. One more inhale. Just feel yourself melting into the mat. Feel your weight grounding onto the mat. Exhale. I'd like you to consider today what it is that brought you into the mat today at this time. There's a lot going on in the world at the moment. Perhaps you're here just for a bit of physical fitness, toning the muscles, getting a bit trim, getting that yoga body. Perhaps you're here to improve your postures, get your alignment and your strength better. Perhaps you're here to just calm the mind, get a bit of peace and quiet, a bit of your own space to escape from the world for a while. Find that tranquility. Perhaps you feel that you need to clear the channels of energy through your body, clear the nadis and remove the blockages from the chakras to get that prana flowing through the body. It may just be the community of practicing with other people, just to maintain that calm. Whatever it is, for all of us, it's one or all or a mixture of these things, maybe something completely different, but whatever it is, I'd like you to consider the main reason that you've come today. And I'd like you to form the intention of getting as much of that from the practice today and taking it with you at the end of the practice out into the world again. So let's seal that intention. Bring the hands together. Prayer position, Anjali Mudra at the heart center. The eyes closed. We'll seal it with one round of Om, but first a deep cleansing breath. Deep inhale through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. Inhale for Om. Resonant sound of Om invites in a Ujjayi breath, a slight constriction at the back of the throat. It's that wave-like whisper at the back of the throat, audible to ourselves and to others. It gives us a steady rhythm throughout our practice today. So on your next inhale, let's blink open the eyes. Hands to the knees. We'll just roll our shoulders forwards, roll the shoulders back. Roll just one shoulder at a time. Roll the right shoulder back, left shoulder back, right shoulder forward, left shoulder forward. Perhaps both together again. Then on the inhale, take the arms wide, up to the ceiling. Grasp the left wrist with the right arm, with the right hand, and let's fold across to the right hand side. Keep the weight evenly distributed across the pelvis bones on the mat. Inhale. Pull the left arm up, stretching through the left-hand side of the body. On the exhale, deepen that fold into the side. One more inhale, one more exhale. On the inhale, we'll rise back up to the center, change the grip of the hands, we'll lean across to the left-hand side on the exhale. Inhale, feel that stretch down the right-hand side of the body, beautiful stretching. Compression onto the left side. Both sides of the hip evenly pressing onto the mat. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose, keeping that Ujjayi breath flowing. One more inhale. One more exhale. On the inhale, come back up to neutral and twist our body around to the right hand side. Twist the torso around. Bring the left hand to the outside, or the inside edge of the right knee. Bring the right hand to the mat at the base of the spine. Take a deep inhale for length. And on the exhale, twisting around to the right hand side. Inhale for length. Exhale to twist. One more deep inhale, crown of the head drawing up to the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's take the hands to the ground on the right hand side of the body. Bend the elbows and just gently bend into that side. Feel the stretch down the left hand side of the body, compression in the right. And on the inhale, let's rise up, bring the torso to face forward, hands up above the head. On the exhale, we'll twist it to the left hand side. Right hand goes to the outside of the left knee, left hand to the base of the spine. Inhale for length, exhale to twist round to the left. Crown of the head drawing up, inhale, folding deeper, exhale. Inhale for length, exhale to twist. One more inhale for length. Then on the exhale, take the hands to the floor on the right hand side of the body and just fold into that, keeping the weight evenly distributed across the pelvis. And on the inhale, let's rise back up, turn the torso to face the front, hands up in the air, long stretch. Exhale, hands through eyebrow, heart, and take them to the front of the body. And let's roll over and join me in tabletop position in the center of your mat. I'm going to invite Emily in to join me now. Hi, Emily. We're going to take a couple of cat-cows. So let's, on the next inhale, drop the belly, raise the gaze, look forward, pelvis directly over the knees, tops of the feet pressing down onto the mat. On the exhale now, draw the belly up, draw the chin in. Get that beautiful arching, smooth arch across the whole length of the back. Inhale, drop the belly, arch that back down, raise the gaze. On the exhale, draw the belly up, take the chin down. One more inhale, gazing up, dropping the belly. Exhale, lift the belly, draw the belly up as high as you can to the ceiling. Then on the exhale, let's come back to neutral. On the next inhale, let's raise the right hand out towards the front of the mat. Raise the left heel, stretch it out towards the back of the mat. The left foot can stay on the ground if that's more comfortable for you. Take a deep inhale for length, make yourself as long as you can between the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Then on the exhale, let's bring the right elbow to meet the left knee. Doming that back once again. Inhale for length. Exhaling, elbow to knee. One more inhale, long as you can. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, go long. On the exhale, plant the right hand, drop the left knee to the floor. Then on the inhale, raise the left arm forward and the right leg, straighten the right leg out to the back. Once again, the toes can stay on the ground if you prefer. Inhale for length, make yourself as long as you can. Then on the exhale, arch the back as you bring the left elbow to the right knee. Inhale for length. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale for length. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more inhale. And on the exhale, drop the left hand to the mat, drop the right knee to the mat, and allow the pelvis to draw back onto the knees. Press the hands down, drop the forehead to the mat for Utthita Balasana, child's pose. Now this is our resting pose that you can come to at any time during your practice. This is your practice. Only you know what's happening in your body. At any time, if you're feeling overworked or feeling pain or discomfort, you can always come back to this pose. Very relaxing pose. The knees can be together traditionally, or they're perfectly welcome to keep the knees wide, to give some more space into the chest and get that deep breathing. Let's feel the palms of the hands pressing down to the floor, tips of the fingers, pads of the fingers pressing into the mat, fingers spread wide. Index finger, little finger side of the hand, base of the hand pressing into the mat, suction cupping up in the palms for Hasta Tadasana. This is your hand lock. Hasta Bandha, I'm sorry. Now let's draw the perineum up into the body, up towards the heart for Mula Bandha. And complement that with drawing in Uddiyana Bandha, the point halfway between the sacrum and the belly button. We'll draw that up into the spine for Uddiyana Bandha. This is your core strength. If you hold that, that will give you stability through all of your poses throughout the practice. On our next inhale, let's raise the pelvis up to the sky, tuck the toes, and rise up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, take whatever organic movements you need. The legs don't need to be straight. If that's not available to you, the hamstrings may be a bit tight. The intention is to draw the heels down towards the mat as much as you can. Let's start to bring in Jalandhara Bandha now, the chin lock, as if you were holding a tennis ball between the chin and the chest. This lengthens the back of the neck, stretching out the vertebrae for beautiful alignment there. And then as we come to stillness, we'll start to draw the heels back down to the ground. The balls of the feet spread wide, pressing down into the mat. Center of the heel pushing down towards the mat. Arches lifted. This is Pada Bandha, the foot lock. Now, keeping all of these bandhas engaged, we'll slowly lower our knees towards the ground. Go as close as you can without touching. We'll hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs. Walk it out. We'll just repeat that one more time. On the inhale, on the exhale, lower the knees as close as you can to the ground without touching. Maybe an inch or so off the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten those legs. This is building strength in the thighs, the leg muscles, and you're engaging your bandhas throughout this to carry you through the rest of the practice. On the next inhale, let's take the right foot, draw it through between the hands, plant it between the hands, bending the knee, dropping the pelvis down, back heel lifts. Then on the exhale, lower the knee to the ground, untuck the toe, raise the torso up, raise the hands through heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling unless you have shoulder injuries or high blood pressure, in which case the hands can always remain at the chest. This is Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Deep inhale, stretch the fingers up to the ceiling. On the exhale, take the arms forward to point towards the front of the mat. And then on the inhale, we'll draw the left hand back across the body, right hand back, right hand back for Parivrtta Anjaneyasana, a low lunge twist. Keep the crown of the head drawing up to the ceiling. Feel that shoulder pulling back, the torsion through the body, compressing the abdominal muscles there, compressing the internal organs. On the exhale, let's bring the hands back to the front, raise them up. Then on the exhale, lower the hands to the ground, bring the pelvis back towards the ankle as you straighten the right foot, raise the toes off the ground. Take a deep inhale for length, feeling that length, lifting and then leading with the chin. We'll lower gently towards that extended leg. This is Ardha Hanumanasana, the half splits. Inhale, let's come halfway up. Try to relax those muscles, and then gently on the exhale, sink down again. Perhaps you get a bit more depth on this. You never have any pain in these stretches. You only go as far as is comfortable for you. On the next inhale, let's bend the knee, bring the pelvis forward, bring the weight onto the hands, then lift the back knee, tuck the toes, bring the right foot back to high plank. On the inhale, take a deep inhale here to align. On the exhale, bring the left foot forward between the toes. Exhale, drop the knees, untuck the toes of the back foot. Raise the hands up through heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Once again, on the exhale, let's lower the hands forward, parallel to the mat. On the inhale, let's bring the left arm back across the body for Anjaneyasana, Parivrtta Anjaneyasana twist. Make your fingers as wide as you possibly can. And on the next inhale, let's bring the left arm down, forward, raise it up to the ceiling. Then on the exhale, hands down through heart, eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, draw the pelvis back towards the heels as you straighten the front leg, draw the toes off the left toes off the ground. Inhale, half lift, lead with the chin towards the front wall, and then gently lower down to wherever you are comfortable. Feel that long stretch up the back of the leg. This will be quite challenging for some of you. On the inhale, let's come up for a half lift to allow those muscles to relax a bit, and then gently sink back into the fold. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. On the inhale, start to bring a bend back into that front knee as you rise up. Then raise the back knee, tuck the toes, and come back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Let's hover those knees again one more time. Sorry, we'll come up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Let's hover those knees one more time. Let's lower the knees down as close as you can to the mat for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise it up. We're going to repeat that series, raising the back knee this time. You can repeat the first variation, leaving the knee on the ground. Otherwise, you can, on the next inhale, lengthen the body. On the exhale, draw the right leg through between the hands. And then on the next inhale, rise up, hands to the heart, eyebrow up to the ceiling. And Vinyasa, high lunge. Deep inhale for length. On the exhale, take the arms towards the front of the room. Bring the right hand back across the body. Stretch it out towards the back toes. Parivrtta and Vinyasa. Feel that long stretch between the fingers. On the next inhale, drop the back arm, swing it down and up for high lunge. Then on the exhale, let's straighten that front leg. No, we don't. Sorry, keep the front leg bent. Draw the hands back behind the back, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the chin, draw the hands back down closer to the ground. Then on the exhale, let's fold forward to the inside of your right knee. The hands start to lift off the body, leaning forward into that front leg. Your thigh will be burning now. You'll be feeling that work going on there. It's a beautiful forward fold here. On the inhale, let's rise back up. Release the hands, the grip of the hands. Swing the arms up to Anjaneyasana, high lunge. On the exhale, let's fold forward, hands to eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the right foot back. Inhale to align. And on the exhale, we'll swing the left foot forward between the hands and rise up into Anjaneyasana on the left-hand side. Deep inhale for length. Exhale, take the arms forward and then peel the right arm back across the left arm back across the body. Thank you, Emily. For a beautiful Parivrtta and Anjaneyasana, twisting high lunge. Deep inhale, feel the length across those fingers. On the exhale, swing the hand down and up and back into a high lunge. Then on the exhale, bring the hands down behind the back, interlace the fingers in the opposite grip as you had last time. Lift the chin, lift the chest, and then leading with the chin forward, we come into a humble warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. Torso comes on the inside of that left knee. Keep the left knee bending deeply. Keep that pelvis as level as you can. Keep the left hip pushing in towards the midline. Raise the hands if you can off the back. Chin pushing forward, leading with the chin. On the inhale, let's rise up again. Relieve that front thigh. Release the grip of the hands. Bring the hands back up. Then inhale. Hands down through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot. Step back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's pedal those feet out again. Take a deep inhale for length, and on exhale, let's lower the knees, untuck the toes, Let's come back down into Uttita Balasana for a well-earned rest. Let's take a while here. Remember, the knees can be wide or together with the toes touching. Just relax here. Feel the heart beating. Feel those muscles, the fresh blood pumping back into those muscles, those sore muscles, relieving the lactic acid buildup. Running through your bandhas again. Hasta bandha, Mula bandha, Uddiyana bandha. And on the next inhale, let's raise the pelvis, tuck the toes, go back up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We're going to come into two variations of Vinyasa flow. We'll start with the gentle variation. So on the inhale, let's roll forward to a high plank. Exhale there, inhale to align. Then on the exhale, let's lower the knees to the ground, untuck the toes, bend the elbows, bring the chin towards the ground, chin, chest, abdomen through. Tops of the feet, toes touching, ankles touching, tops of the feet pressing down onto the mat. Engage the knees, draw them up off the ground. Shoulders roll back, chin rises, keeping the lower ribs on the ground there. We lift the hands, lift the gaze for Bhujangasana, cobra pose, baby cobra pose. Feel that beautiful arch down through the back. Then on the exhale, lower the forehead to the mat, lower the hands, and push back the pelvis back to the heels for Uttita Balasana. Then exhale, tuck the toes, raise the pelvis up to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So that's our gentle variation. You can repeat that all the way through the practice today, or you can take the traditional variation, which is a bit more challenging. You're welcome to take it. So on the next inhale, we'll roll forward to high plank. Inhale to align. Exhale, either repeat the gentle variation or bend the elbows. I'll just do it because Emily has a wrist injury and she's going to repeat the gentle variation. Second variation is we bend the elbows to 90 degrees. The upper arms are parallel to the floor for Chaturanga Dandasana. On the inhale, straighten the arms, bring the chest through, roll over the toes on the tops of the feet for Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. On the next inhale, you roll back over the tails, lift the pelvis up to the sky for Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So we'll all meet back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, bend the knees. Actually, no, we won't. Okay, you bend the knees and step or walk the feet between the hands for Uttanasana. Inhale for Urdhva, inhale the hands up through the heart center, eyebrow center, up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. Keep the hands at the center if you have high blood pressure or shoulder injury. Otherwise, the hands rise up for Hasta Tadasana, slight bend back if it's available to you, and then hands down to eyebrow, heart, to the side of the body, palms facing forward for Tadasana, a mountain pose. Toes are touching, heels slightly apart unless you have ankle, knee or hip injury, in which case the feet can be about hip width. We're going to come in now to 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, salute to the sun, variation A. So let's bring our hands together at heart center, raise it up to eyebrow center, up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. On the exhale, bring your hands to the top of the front of your thighs and slowly slide them down to just above the knees. We're coming into an Uttanasana. If your floor is not available to you, this could be your forward fold for the day. Otherwise, you could take it down to the shins if that's available to you. Never put weight directly onto the knees. And that will be your forward fold for the rest of the practice. If it's available to you, you can bring your fingertips to the ground or draw your palms down to the ground for Uttanasana, the full expression of Uttanasana. If your palms are on the ground, the tips of your fingers in line with the tips of your toes. This is Uttanasana, the forward fold. Then we come up to upward forward fold, Urdhva Uttanasana, half lift, gaze forward towards the front of the room. And fingertips can be on the floor, or you can bring your hands up to your thighs. Just enough to take the curve out of the lower spine, get a nice straight spine here without too much bending into the neck vertebrae there. So Urdhva Uttanasana. On the exhale, fold forward into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Then bend the knees, step, walk, or float the feet back to high plank. Inhale to align, doming the shoulder blades, drawing shoulder blades away from the midline. Then on the exhale, your choice of flow. Either gentle variation, Bhujangasana, or coming down through Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and meeting back in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, let's lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, step or walk the feet between the hands for Uttanasana. On the inhale, rise up for Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, hands through heart center, eyebrow center, up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, go straight into the second round. Come down through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk, or float the feet back to high plank. Either repeat the gentle variation again, or we'll come into one round of your flow. Either Bhujangasana Cobra or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, pressing back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, step, walk, or float the feet up to Uttanasana. Half lift, Urdhva Uttanasana, exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rising up for Hasta Tadasana. Coming into the third round, folding forward, eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, Uttanasana. Inhale, upward, forward fold. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk, or float the feet back for high plank. Inhale to align. Exhale for one round of your flow. Leading back in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, step, walk, or float the feet forward to Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Rising up for Hasta Tadasana. Coming through into the fourth round. Uttanasana. Upward, forward fold. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk, or float the feet back to a high plank. Inhale to align. Exhale, one round of your chosen flow. Get that Ujjayi breath flowing, one breath, one movement. Meeting back in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, step, walk, or float the feet forward for Uttanasana. Upward lift, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, hands through heart center, eyebrow center, up to the ceiling, Hasta Tadasana. Coming into the final round, final fifth round. Exhale, palms to the floor, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk, or float the feet back to high plank. Inhale to align, doming those shoulders. Exhale, one round of your flow. A gentle variation. And meeting back in Adho Mukha Svanasana, we will hold here. Pressing the Hasta Bandha, the hands push down into the ground. Pada Bandha, feet pull in. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, all engaged. Let's take 3 Simha breaths here. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, poke the tongue out. 2 more like that. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. On the next inhale, let's bend the knees, lift the heels, step, walk, or float the feet between the hands. Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Rising up, hands through heart, eyebrow up to the ceiling. Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, hands through eyebrow, heart to the side of the body, palms facing forward for Tadasana. And breathe here. Close down the eyes. Just come back into the room. Feel your body. Feel the heart pumping. Feel the blood flowing. Feel yourself alive. Remember your sankalpa. what it is that you came here for today, and what you're hoping to get from this practice. Straighten the mat again. We're going to keep that heat in the body by coming straight into 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. Salute to the sun B. So next inhale, hands together, heart center, eyebrow center, up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, fold forward for dropping the fingers to the ground, bending the knees, thank you Emily. Inhale, the hands together at the heart center, draw the hands up to the sky for finding your seat for Utkatasana, the chair pose. Your gaze, your drishti is the horizon line or above. If it's available to your neck, you could take the gaze up to the tips of the fingers. Sacrum draws down to the ground. You should be able to see your nose, see your toes over the ends of your knees. Deep inhale for length. On the exhale, folding forward to Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift to Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk or float the feet back to high plank. Inhale for length. Exhale, 1 round of your chosen flow. Either Bhujangasana Cobra or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Remembering always to bring the heels back to Uttana, back to child's pose before rising if you've taken the gentle variation. On your next inhale, let's turn the left foot out 45 degrees to the side, towards the side of the mat, so it's pointing towards the front of the mat. Might like to widen your stance, perhaps make it a bit shorter. As you step on the exhale, step the right foot through between the hands and rise up into Virabhadrasana 1. Let's check the alignment of that back hip. You want alignment between the hips should be aligned with the front edge of the mat. You might need to adjust your foot maybe a bit wider, perhaps turning the foot further in, taking the blade of the foot out to the long edge of the mat if required. So just feel that your hips are aligned here. Raise the fingers up to the sky, sparking up to the sky. Raise your chest, roll the shoulders back. Beautifully open here for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 pose. Deep inhale for length. Then on the exhale, let's bring the hands down through eyebrow heart, frame the front foot, and step the right foot back to a high plank, lifting the back foot and adjusting. Deep inhale to align. Exhale, bend the 1 round of your chosen flow. Either gentle variation or the traditional variation with Chaturanga. Meeting back in Adho Mukha Svanasana. On the next inhale, we'll turn the right foot out 45 degrees towards the front of the mat. On the exhale, step the left foot through between the hands. Adjust the back foot as you need to align the hips. And on the inhale, rise up, hands to heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Checking the alignment of those hips. On the exhale, let's take the hands down through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the left foot back, adjust the right foot, coming into a plank, and then on the exhale, 1 round of your chosen flow. Chin, chest, abdomen through Bhujangasana, coming back to Utthita Balasana, child's pose, then rising up for Adho Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, gaze forward, step, walk or float the feet between the hands, and come up to Utkatasana, the chair pose. Sorry, exhale, that's right. Hands to heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling. Inhale for length as you drop the pelvis. Exhale, fold forwards, hands on the exhale, sink deeper. On the inhale, rise up, Hasta Tadasana. We'll come straight into the second round. Exhale, hands to heart, eyebrow, right. We can actually come straight from there. We'll come into chair pose again. Bend the knees, hands to heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling for Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale for length. On the exhale, fold forward, hands to eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot for Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the feet, step, walk or float the feet back for high plank. Inhale to align, 1 round of your chosen flow. Bhujangasana Cobra or Urdhva Uttanasana. On the next inhale, let's turn the right foot out 45 degrees, perhaps shorten and widen your stance as required. Then on the exhale, step the left foot through between the hands. Rising up on the inhale, hands through heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling for Virabhadrasana 1. Inhaling for length. Then on the exhale, fold forward, hands through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the foot back, adjust the right foot to a high plank, then inhale to align, exhale one round of your chosen flow. Meeting back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On the next inhale, let's turn the left foot out 45 degrees, shortening and widening your stance as required. Then on the exhale, right foot through between the hands, rising up to Virabhadrasana 1. Deep inhale for length, checking the alignment of that back hip. Then on the exhale, hands through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the right foot back, turning the left foot, lifting the left heel to high plank, and then deep inhale to align, and exhale one round of your chosen flow. Go to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, bend the knees, look forward, step walk or float the feet between the hands. Uttanasana. Half lift, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. On the inhale, bend the knees, fingertips to the ground, lower the sacrum, and then rise up on the inhale to Utkatasana, chair pose. We'll come straight into the third round from here. A deep inhale for length, and on the exhale, fold forward for Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step walk or float the feet back to a high plank. Inhale to align. Exhale, take one round of your chosen flow. Meeting back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, we'll turn the right foot out 45 degrees, shortening, widening the stance as required. And on exhale, step the left foot through. That's the wrong way around, isn't it? I'm sorry, we'll take that foot back. We'll turn the left foot out first. Inhale, step the right foot through. On the inhale, rise up, hands to heart, eyebrow up to the ceiling for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold forward, hands to eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the right foot back. Exhale, inhale to align. Exhale, take one round of your chosen flow. Keep that Ujjayi breath flowing. This is our final round. On the next inhale, turn the right foot out 45 degrees, adjusting the width. On the exhale, step the left foot forward between the feet, between the hands. Rise up on the inhale, hands to heart, eyebrow up to the ceiling for Virabhadrasana 1. Deep inhale here for length. On the exhale, fold forward, hands down through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step the left foot back, adjust the right foot, come into a high plank, and take your final round of Vinyasa flow. Meet back in Ardha Mukha Svanasana. We'll pause there. We'll take 3 more rounds of Simha breath. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose, open the mouth wide, poke out the tongue, and exhale loudly. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more inhale, one more exhale. On your next inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, step walk or float the feet between the hands. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, fingertips to the ground as you rise up on the inhale to Utkatasana, the chair pose. Hands raised to the sky. Gaze to the horizon or above. Inhale for length. Exhale to sink deeper. Then on the inhale, straighten the legs, hands up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, hands to eyebrow, heart to the side of the body, Tadasana. Close down the eyes and breathe here. Keep that Ujjayi breath flowing. Keep those bandhas engaged. Tadasana is not a resting pose. Everything is engaged in the body. You should feel fingers sparking to the floor, kneecaps lifted, thighs engaged, breastbone lifted, lower ribs in, Uddiyana Bandha drawing in, Jalandhara Bandha engaged, crown of the head lifting towards the ceiling. Breathe deeply. On the next inhale, blink the eyes open, bring the hands together through heart, eyebrow, up to the ceiling for Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, fold forward, hands to eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, step the left foot back, and then on the inhale, windmill the arms up. Windmill the arms up to come to face the long edge of your mat in a wide-legged stance. Feet parallel, arms stretched wide. So heels in an alignment down the center line of the mat. And we're not coming into a forward fold here. We're going somewhere else. So on your next exhale, bring your hands back to your pelvis. Just wiggle your hips from side to side, rotate them around, just so you feel exactly where your pelvis is aligned. It should be in a direct plane with the heels of the feet. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to turn the left foot 45 degrees towards the right-hand side of your mat here, towards the front of your mat. Now this turn should come from the hip joint, so the knee should turn in line with the back foot, with the left foot. But the hips are still facing directly towards the long edge of the mat. And on the next inhale, we're going to turn the right foot forward 90 degrees towards the front of the mat, bringing the kneecap to line with the foot, so the turn is coming once again from the right pelvis joint, where the femur joins into the pelvis. Let's just wiggle the hips again from side to side. They should still be in that one line between lining up with the heels and the foot, as if you're between two planes of glass. On the next inhale, let's raise the hands out either side in the same single plane, as if you're being squashed between these two planes of glass. The knee tracking towards the toes, the right knee tracking towards the toes. Then on the exhale, let's bend that front knee to come into a long stance. Keep the knee drawing out from the midline. Bring your right hand down to the inside of that knee and just push it out. So you have that feeling of opening the hips. It's a difficult thing to do. This is the alignment that you're looking for in Virabhadrasana 2, which we're coming to. Raise that hand again. And the final part of the pose, all the anatomical focus is towards the long side of the mat. You just turn your gaze now to gaze over the right hand, the middle finger of the right hand. This is Virabhadrasana 2. This is your best alignment of Virabhadrasana 2. So in our next inhale for length here, on the exhale, take the arm forward, leaning the torso, the right fingers towards the front wall, and then swing the back up over the head, left hand down to the thigh behind you, coming into that same pose. It's exactly the same pose from the waist down. It's just the torso is bending up, feeling that stretch up the right-hand side of your body here. Shoulders are still in that single plane in line with your ankles. On the exhale, let's bring the fingers forward again, back into Virabhadrasana 2. On the inhale, let's straighten that front knee again. So everything's still in that one plane, hips still pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Deep inhale for length. On the exhale, bring the fingers once again forward towards the front of the room and rotate the torso, right hand down inside the right leg. Exhale, the fingertips of the left hand pointing up to the ceiling in one long line if that's available. For Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keep that length through the right-hand side of the body, the lower ribs drawing away from the thigh. Trying to keep an equal length in both sides of the torso. The hips still in that one line, lined up with the ankles. Trikonasana. On the inhale, Bend that front knee again, rise the torso up, come back into Virabhadrasana 2. Once again, we'll take an inhale for length. On the exhale, bring the right elbow to the upper right thigh as we draw the left hand up towards the ceiling, coming into Parshvakonasana. Once again, same pose, identical from the hips down, just the torso coming over the hips, still trying to be in line with the line of the heels. Inner right knee drawing out to keep in line with the heels again. Parshvakonasana. We're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana now. So on the next inhale, bring the weight onto the front foot, draw the back foot in about half a step. You might need to reach for a block now if you have one available, or a chair possibly. Whatever you have available, may be able to reach the floor. So let's place the hands down onto your prop, onto the floor, and then on the next inhale, let's straighten that front leg, raise the back foot, coming into Ardha Chandrasana. The hips, you're aiming to keep the hips lying stacked over each other here, everything in that one plane still. There's beautiful alignment here from Emily, toes tucking towards the face, foot horizontal in line with the floor. Beautiful length from the hands, straight up through the shoulders and up to the tips of the top fingers. Ardha Chandrasana. On the exhale, let's bend into that front knee as we slowly lower the foot back, coming back into Virabhadrasana 2. So all of those poses, we've been in that perfect alignment, center line of the mat between the heels, the knee, the hips, the shoulders. Now I'm going to highlight the difference between Virabhadrasana 2 and Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to swing our back hand down to the front of the body, rise it up. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 1, but what you'll notice is the hip can't turn all the way through here. So you need to take your foot wider and a bit shorter until your hips can turn parallel to the front edge of the mat now. This is Virabhadrasana 1 pose. So just to highlight that again, we'll come back into Virabhadrasana 2. Swing the hands down, take the foot back in line to line up the ankles, Virabhadrasana 2. And then one more time, we'll swing the arm down, take the foot wider and shorter as you turn the pelvis around, come into Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. On the next inhale, we'll straighten the front, I've done the wrong way. On the next inhale, let's bring the hands down to the hips. Inhale to lift the chin, straighten that front leg, then on the exhale, fold forward gently. Keep the hands in the hips, bringing them down to the shin, if that's available to you. Perhaps a couple of blocks you might need to reach to. Trying to keep the back of the body straight, the spine as straight as you possibly can, bend coming from the pelvis. If the floor is available to you, you can fold down over the front leg. Let's inhale up for a half lift, gaze forward, release a bit of the tension from the back of the legs, and then slowly sink back into the fold. Parshvakonasana, intense stretch to the west. No, sorry, intense side stretch. Inhale, rise all the way up now. Bring that bend back into the front legs, come back up into Virabhadrasana 1. Then exhale, hands through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot. Step back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Let's take one round of your chosen flow. So roll forward to a high plank. Inhale to align. Exhale, one round of your flow. Pelvis back to the heels. Come into Utthita Balasana. Lower the heels to the floor, untuck the toes, lower the pelvis, hands press to the floor. Utthita Balasana. And breathe. That's quite an intense series. But this is yoga. We balance each side, so I'm afraid you know what's coming, and we're going to repeat the series on the other side. But let's just take a few deep breaths here. Remember what you came for, and think if you're going to be able to take away from the practice today, some things that will lead you, guide you forward with what you want to achieve. Get that Ujjayi breath flowing. Deep breath in, deep breath out. On the next inhale, raise the pelvis, tuck the toes, and rise up to Adho Mukha Svanasana. On the inhale, let's step the left foot through this time, between the toes, and rise up into rotate, windmill the arms up to come to a wide stance, facing the other side of the mat. Hands out wide. Once again, bring your hands down to the tips of the pelvis. Wiggle the pelvis around to feel the alignment. The heels line up with the pelvis. On the inhale, we'll turn the right foot forward, inward 45 degrees, turning from the pelvis once again. Feel that alignment of the pelvis, wiggle it around. And on the next inhale, we'll turn the left foot forward 90 degrees towards the top of the mat. Align that pelvis once again. This is tricky to get this alignment where your left leg is twisting out, but the pelvis is resisting it, turning around to the right. Keep that alignment between the heels, the foot, the hips, and the shoulders. Draw the sacrum down. Draw Uddiyana Bandha in. Draw Mula Bandha in. And on the exhale, let's bend that front knee, the left knee, down until the thigh is almost parallel with the ground, knee on top of the ankle and pressing out away from midline. Draw that right side of the pelvis back into line. And on the inhale, let's raise the hands up to shoulder height, fingertips sparking out, palms facing down. And then to complete the pose, on the exhale, just rotate the eyes, rotate the gaze across to the middle finger of the left hand. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. This is your best pose. This is the alignment that you'll be aiming for throughout your practice. Let's take a deep inhale. On the exhale, stretch the fingers forward towards over your left knee and then rotate round, raise the left hand above the ear. Right hand draws down the side of the palm, down the side of the thigh. Viparita Virabhadrasana 2. On the exhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Bending that front knee, hands stretching out to either side of the room. On the next inhale, we'll straighten that front leg. And once again, the alignment, the heels are aligned. Roll the torso down, bring the fingers down to the ground or down to a block if that's available to you. Otherwise, line the arms up at the vertical. Keep the left hand side of the body, the right hand side of the body stretching out. Crown of the head pressing towards the front wall for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Alignment of the hips is the same, alignment of the ankles is the same. And on the inhale, let's rise back up. Bend the front knee, come into Virabhadrasana 2. And then let's fold forward again. Left elbow to the inside of the left thigh as you raise the right hand up to the ceiling for Parshvakonasana. Once again, the same pose. Feet identical to Virabhadrasana 2. And the next inhale, let's bring the weight forward onto the front foot as you draw the back foot in half a step. Lower the hand down onto a block or onto whatever's available to you, if the floor's available to you. Raise the right foot up off the ground for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. The pelvis vertically aligned, stacking on top of each other. Trying to keep between that single plane, pressing you together. Deep inhale here. Then on the exhale, bend into that front knee as you slowly lower the foot back down to the ground. Come back into Virabhadrasana 2. Now here we're going to come into Virabhadrasana 1 again, just to get that feeling of the difference between the two poses. Deep inhale for length, then on the exhale, swing that back arm around and forward as you adjust your back foot wider and a bit shorter. Raise the arms up to Virabhadrasana 1. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2 now. Adjust that back foot, lift it back into position for Virabhadrasana 2. Heels aligned in one line, entire body in one line, one plane. Then on the inhale, lower back hand, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. On the next inhale, inhale for length. On the next inhale, we'll straighten that front leg, bring the hands to the hips, and start to fold forward, leading from the chin, as if the chin is trying to stretch over the top of the toes for Parsvottanasana, forward fold. Bring the hands down to the blocks if that's available to you, or to the floor. They can come onto the thigh, hands can come onto the thigh or the shin if that's what you need. On the inhale, let's have a half lift, raise the gaze, release a bit of strain in the muscle, and then on the exhale, fold again, fold deeper over that muscle. Feeling that intense stretch up the back of the leg. And on the inhale, let's bend that front foot, rise back up into Virabhadrasana 1. And on the exhale, fold forward, hands through eyebrow, heart, frame the front foot, step back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Roll forward to high plank, and then on the exhale, one round of your flow. A simple variation, or coming through Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, meeting back in downward facing dog. Let's take 3 more rounds of Simha breath. Deep inhale through the nose, open mouth wide. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more inhale, one more exhale. Let's bend the knees, lower the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, take the pelvis back to the heels for Utthita Balasana, resting pose. Well done. That's quite a hard series. You'll feel your muscles quite sore, the lactic acid build up, building strength in the bones, keeping the blood flowing through the internal organs, getting that prana flowing through the body, trying to achieve everything that you wanted to achieve from this practice. Now that's the end of the standing series. Now on the next inhale, just raise the torso up, sitting back onto the heels, torso vertical, and then take your hips to one side and swing the legs out to the front. Come into Dandasana, staff pose. Palms of the hands pressing down, the side of the hips pressing down onto the floor to stretch that spine up as long as you can. And raising the hands up above the head. Bend the knees and draw the ankles towards the heels. Take the arms forward. We're going to roll back onto our spine, one vertebrae at a time for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Palms down to the floor. Take the feet to hip width and draw the ankles in until you can touch the backs of the heels, if that's available to you, or as close as you can, keeping the feet at hip width parallel. We're going to come into bridge pose, Sedabandha, Shavangasana. Come into 2 rounds. So first of all, press down onto the feet, press on the hands as you lift the pelvis up towards the sky. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the shoulders wiggle the shoulders back under the body, drawing them together as you clasp the hands if that's available to you. Inhale, draw the pelvis up to the sky, feel that arch through the back, feeling the feet pressing into the ground. One more inhale, as high as you can. Then on the exhale, release the grip, lower the pelvis back down to the ground. We're not going to neutralise now. We're coming to one more round where we'll do some heel lifts if that's available to you. Otherwise, you can repeat the same variation, or you can just put a block under your hips and take a gentle variation. Then on the inhale, let's press down on the feet, press on the hands, lift the pelvis up to the sky. Take the opposite hand grip this time, if you can, the uncomfortable grip. Inhale for length. Exhale, stay high. Then on the next inhale, let's raise the heels off the ground. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise the heels. Keeping that height there, lower the heels. One more inhale. One more exhale. Release the grip of the hands and slowly wind the spine down, one vertebrae at a time, onto our back. We'll take the feet out to hip width. Let the knees close in together and swing from right to left. I didn't do my twist. So we'll come into a recline twist now. So let's straighten the legs out. And then bend the right knee. Draw it in towards your chest. Deep inhale here. And on the exhale, take your arms wide and twist the right knee over to the left-hand side of the body. The gaze can remain up towards the ceiling or take it over to your right hand. Relax into this twist. Feel the spine loosening and neutralizing from the back bend. On the next inhale, draw the knee back up to vertical. Draw the left knee in towards the chest, give them a hug. Then on the exhale, straighten the right leg out towards the end of the mat. Inhale. On the exhale, bring the knee over to the right-hand side of the body, taking the left hand out to the side. Gaze can remain up to the ceiling or take it over to the left-hand side. Relax into this twist. This compresses the abdominal muscles. Great for the digestive system, compressing the colon to keep the digestive system moving. And calming the body down, starting to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. On the next inhale, bring the knees back up to vertical. Draw the right knee into the chest, give them a hug. Exhale. Then on the inhale, raise the heels up towards the ceiling. If you'd like a gentle variation, you can place a prop, take a block under the hips. If you don't have a block, you can just put 2 fists under the hips to get this beautiful inversion. Viparita Karani, often called legs up the wall pose. I believe it's the definition, the Sanskrit definition is tranquil lake. So just feel that beautiful relaxing pose. The blood flowing down, replenishing the heart and the internal organs. The lymph system now being relieved of gravity allows the lymph to flow back down through the body, improving our immune system. And just generally relaxing the heart, lowering the blood pressure here. And breathing, keep our Ujjayi breath breathing. On the exhale, let's reach up, bend the knees, grab the outside edge of the feet. Come into Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Drawing the knees towards the underarms, perhaps rocking from side to side, perhaps straightening one leg. Draw it back in, straighten the other leg. Or perhaps stretching both legs out if that's available to and comfortable to, and feel that that's what your body's drawn to. And then bending the knees, drawing the knees back into the chest. Stretching the legs out down the length of the mat. We'll come into one round of Matsyasana, the fish pose. So bringing their palms down to the floor, wiggle from side to side as you draw the hands together, thumbs to touch underneath the body. Stretch the arms down as far as you can and draw the shoulders back towards you. On your next inhale, press down on the elbows and raise the torso up as far as you can here. You're almost coming up into a sitting position. Then on the exhale, keeping the chin tucked, stretch the front of the body as you come back into a forward fold. If it's available to you and comfortable for your neck, you can lower the head back so the crown of the head presses down or touches down onto the mat. This compresses the pineal gland, which is involved in our sleep-wake cycle. So this will improve the circadian rhythms. If it's available to you, you can, if you'd like something stronger, you can engage your core muscles and raise the feet up off the ground. Only if it's available. Otherwise, just breathe into this pose. Then on the next inhale, raise the head to bring the chin to the chest, and exhale as you slowly lower the vertebrae back to the ground. Take the feet wide, take the hands wide, palms facing upwards, as we come into our final pose, Shavasana. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Deep inhale through the nose, side out through the mouth. One more inhale, one more exhale. And just relax into Shavasana, corpse pose. True yoga is not about the shape of your body, but the shape of your life. Yoga is not to be performed. Yoga is to be lived. Yoga doesn't care about what you have been. Yoga cares about the person you are becoming. Yoga is designed for a vast and profound purpose. And for it to be truly called yoga, its essence must be embodied. Slowly bring your attention back into the mat. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out through the nose. Bring some life back into the physical body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. And on your next inhale, draw the hands up above the head for a big morning stretch. Stretching the fingers and the toes away from each other. Beautiful long stretch through the body. And on your inhale, draw to your, whatever side is calling you today. Right side for low blood pressure, left side for high blood pressure, or whatever your body is called to today. Let's just take a moment in this position. This is the join between a practice on the mat, moving back into the reality of the moment. Just appreciate this time and consider what you've gained from the practice today, what you'd like to take with you away from the practice and back into the world to help guide you through the rest of your lives. When you're ready, take your free hand, press your way up to seated position. Comfortable seated position, eyes are closed. Draw your hands together in Anjali Mudra at the heart. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out. We'll finish the practice the same way we started, with one round of Om. Deep breath in through the nose for Om. Raise the prayer between the eyebrows. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. I hope you got from your practice today what you wanted to get from it, and take that practice with you through the rest of your day. Namaste.
Namaste.